Looking for ways to use your paper offcuts and or scraps? We are going to make stencils from our Cricut leftovers. You can do this from any machine's leftovers or even hand cut, showing you quickly how to paint them and then, bonus, DIY envelope. Welcome to PM Artist Studio. I am Mariah, the M and PM. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell if you haven't. Now, let's get started. All right, here is our piece that is left over from the cutting machine. That could be anything from die cuts to cutting machines, any of that, even if you wanted to hand cut. One of my recommendations is that it probably should be at least a cardstock type material. We also cut these just purposefully from acetate, things of that nature, even vinyl works. But you need something that's a little heavier that's going to hold up to the paint. And what you saw there was P just cleaning up the edges, not making them so stark, or just creating some interesting areas to use as the stencil. And I think she kind of has it all worked out there. And it's also nice to have a piece that is pretty easy to maneuver. And now that the stencil is kind of cleaned up, just laying down some paint on the, well, you could roll it onto your jelly print or jelly plate, or right now she just has it on the glass mat, which has worked out quite nicely. Using 3 different colors and then flipping and flopping, which P says this is kind of her technique. I don't know if anybody else does it this way, but this is certainly the PM way of using your offcuts as a stencil, is a flip and flop. Now what you're going to see there is that she just added some matte medium to the acrylic paints to give it just a bit more movement, that sort of thing. We have other videos that'll show you how to do that if you are interested. So there was kind of a point where, because again this is just a cardstock, that she needed to wait for the stencils to stiffen up a little bit from the paint so she could continue on. So they just had to dry. And that's one of the great things about using this acrylic paint, is that once you apply it to the stencil piece, it only kind of gets better because of the acrylic nature, the plasticky feel to the acrylic paint. It is going to then seal that stencil, so you can keep using it and keep it in your stash. I would highly recommend, though, when you are storing them, to kind of keep them either in a Ziploc or something plasticky that will keep them separated from one another, because they will stick. Now you'll see P bring in just yet another stencil offcut from, I believe it was card making or something of that nature, just some straight cuts and some circles, which worked out really great, again, with that flip and flop method. Now, just using up paint, that's just something else. You don't even really need a stencil. It's great to just be able to use your brayer and roll out some paint onto those squares, because now we're gonna get on into showing how to make some envelopes. So squares are preferred to create nifty-difty little handmade envelopes. Just using up paint, which was nice because there was a little bit of interest on both the inside and outside, and then cleaning up those edges so that way it was kind of went to the edge, had a nice bleed over, which makes the design look even more cool. There you have it. And in order to fold these, it is really just a folded in the middle, corner to corner, edge to edge, making the triangle. Take those corners, fold them to that center mark, tearing off a little leftover bit there. What she's trying to do there is figure out which way the pattern looks the best. If you're using a patterned paper that goes up or down, then this would be something you would want to keep in mind. Which way is the flap, and when it folds down, what is it going to look like on both sides? Simply glue those edges, tuck in the little bit, and then there you have it. There is a very large envelope that we were going to use for some journals that we will be sending off. This is really a fun project. You can make envelopes of all sizes, which P ended up making not only these larger ones. And I sped it up there, just showing you the process once again. It's just that corner to corner, make the triangle, then the two sides in, one flap up, tuck the little point, and there's the envelope. And even if your paper isn't perfectly square, that's okay. With these, it's not that big of a deal. You can trim up in areas if you do want it more perfect. That is certainly not our style, although I strive at times. And there you have it. So she did go ahead and fold the smaller ones as well. These are really fun, kind of a nested little thing, great for journals. We like making even tags that have these little envelopes. That's pretty much it. And as always, please like this video if you haven't. Leave us a comment below. We love those. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell. We do this each week. Thank you again for watching. Bye.